Call the Board of Public Works meeting to order, December 5th, 2017. Notice has been duly posted. Roll call.
Mayor Chilson,
Here.
Alderman Jertson,
Here.
Alderman Bertrand,
Here.
Fred Bueller,
Here.
and Jared Holter is also here.
Also in attendance, we have two older people in the audience, Jerry Embry and Bob Muth, both from the Second Ward. Approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
So move.
Motion made by Ron. Second by Harvey. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Approved. Public input. Anyone wishing to give public input, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes. Go ahead. You don't have to raise your hand, just come to the podium when it's empty.
My name is Patrick Clements, and I reside at 3009 Wild Rose Lane. I'm here for 3 reasons, and the first reason is I want to publicly thank the engineering department and the public works department for what they do. I call them the quiet heroes. I wake up every morning, my water is running. I wake up when it snows, and the streets are cleared. And these quiet heroes, I just want to tell them thanks. So tell Jim, Jarrett, Kevin, Jim, your folks are wonderful, and I just want to publicly say that. Second thing I want to talk about is on behalf of Centering on Alaska, I'm the president of Centering on Alaska, I want to thank you for the partnership that we have, which brings smiles to these kids. A couple weeks ago, we had the tree lighting ceremony, and it wouldn't have happened without our public works and without our engineering folks. So Katie, I know she's around here somewhere.
He's here in your
Garrett,
back.
Kevin, the whole crew that helped us with that. Of course, Parks and Rec was involved with that also, thank you. But we want to thank you guys for doing that with us and bringing smiles. And the lights went on because I didn't have the mic, am I right? So, a little inside joke there. Third thing I want to talk about is I'm here to support Centering on Alaska and put my support behind funding of the cemetery project. We have come a long way in a very short time because of hard work and dedication from this crew right here in front of me and the crew behind me. So we, as Centering on Alaska, want to partner with them. Our motto is building community pride. And I got to tell you, driving by the cemetery now is phenomenal. So my question to everyone else is, can we fund it more? Can we give some more money to that? Can we finish this project? My real question to y'all is, if not now, when? If not now, when? Let's continue this great support of this great organization that raised funds, but let's continue what we've done, and let's make 12th Avenue and beyond even better. Thank you.
And I just want to make a short note to talk about my absence at the tree lighting, and that's because I was reading out at the kindergarten, or the Eagle Bluff. So maybe we should get those 2 calendars together so I can be at both places. Thank you. Yeah, okay. I don't think you'll get many people to take that. Jerry, you want to come up and say something?
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Gerald Every. I live at 801 Troy Street, Onalaska, Wisconsin. And I'm also here to talk about the cemetery. And I too want to echo the feelings for what we have done in Onalaska. Great. I have brothers and other family members buried in the cemetery, so I have an interest in that as well. And thank you very much for the support that you've given, Fred and Jared especially, the guys. It's been wonderful. The people themselves have contributed a lot also in time, effort, and money raised. And I think it's a project that needs to be finished. I think it should be a policy that if we start something, we should finish it. I know it's hard, the capital improvement budget, I know how that is. It's give and take, it's decisions that are hard to make. but it has to be done. And I appreciate what you do, because I know it's hard work. I told Fred and Jared that I would not make specific recommendations on where I thought you should cut and where I didn't, but can I deviate from that just a little bit? Because I have mentioned it before when we passed the capital budget, and that's the 5% increase in the stormwater utility rates. And I objected to that. I did agree to pass the budget, however, because I think overall management of our budget money has been done very well. But the stormwater utility is a utility that I fought against, and I would again. I think it's just another tax, but we have a stormwater utility project in there for $125,000. Plus we have asked people for a 5% increase in their taxes. So I think if there's a place where that would come from, maybe it could come from there, and I thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to give public input?
Hi, my name is Lois Reneker, and I live at 302 2nd Avenue North in Onalaska here, and here we are again, hoping that you will reconsider an amendment to your budget for 2018 and includes Phase 2. $90,000 seemed like a lot to me, so I went ahead and I called Ben from Phillips Fencing, and I called Reedy Cement Company in Galesville, and the River City Ready Mix. And Ben said that he would work with them and get a bid for us. So he, I think he did email one to you, Jared, and sent one to me. And I think it was $90,000 that was presented to you last time. And the bid that we have is $52,340. So that's almost $40,000 less than what we anticipated. So with that new figure, I hope that we can be added into the 2018 budget. And if we're allowed to apply for a grant, we may get another $20,000 from that, from the La Crosse Community Foundation. And so then that would really bring it down to much less. So please consider our request, and I want to thank our supporters that are here this evening from Centering Onalaska and members of the community that are backing us on this. So please consider this. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to give public input?
Roger Bjorgi, 1009 Windhill Street in Onalaska. I'm also a business owner in Onalaska, one of the owners of Crescent Printing Company. But I'm here to talk about the cemetery project and to urge you to finish Phase 2. I said at the last meeting, my son was very much involved in the cemetery project. He passed away last year. He's got a name plaque up there, and we just, I want to thank thank the city and the committee that has been working on this project, because it's beautiful. And I think it's something that needs to be completed. And my wife just told me back there that I should compliment you also on the whole Main Street of Onalaska, how great it looks. I mean, we got everything to be proud of, a lot to be proud of here in the city. And I think finishing that cemetery project would just add to that feeling. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to give public input?
Hi, I'm Rick Diermeyer, 2301 Evanston Drive, Onalaska. Here to speak in support of the development of investment in seating, appropriate seating for the spillway, the top of the spillway, the flat area now, the large concrete area. The way it is now, it's incomplete. In fact, I just ran out to just 5 miles upriver, the Fish and Wildlife Service little viewing area that they have, took some photos today. You know, a rather small elevated platform that they have there. It's pretty simple. It's using the Trex material. You've probably been out there, maybe you've seen it, but it's a couple of nice simple benches. They've cut a couple of the stationary permanent binoculars, and you've got a nice viewing area above a very beautiful area, of course, with Lake Onalaska. And what we have now there is, it's a wonderful overall area, but obviously that flat area, the concrete area is just lacking, and it's not really appropriate, and it doesn't speak well for Onalaska. So I know some different options have been considered, but whatever is done, that something needs to be done, and it should be appropriate. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to give public input?
Hello, my name is Dave Locken, W5778, County Road OS. You call it East Main Street. I'm part of the town of Madera, but I've been talking to Jared. And last month I came here to talk to you about whether we're going to get that road repaved. Apparently it's on the books and it's going to be done this year. One of the problems that I have, and one of the problems that my neighbor has to the east, she went around and tried taking a survey and getting people to write down their name on having problems with what's going on with that road in that section. There's 3 people that live on there. There's a whole, one part goes up to Meadowwood, and then the other road, I don't know where that goes down there. But there's turnoffs on there, and people aren't doing the speed limit there. We have semi-trucks going up and down that road. We have logging trucks going up and down that road. We have garbage trucks, and I have nothing against Harder or Hilltopper, but their trucks going up and down that road right now is so loud, it's vibrating my house you can't even set a cup of coffee on the coffee table. It rattles the coffee right out of the cup. And I know the road's gonna get repaved, but what I'm gonna ask right now is, can you consider lowering the speed limit and getting some of these trucks off that road until you're done with the paving? Otherwise, I'll be using your cemetery because my house is gonna crash in on me. So please consider it and let Gerald know, and he can let me know, so I don't have to come back here and bother you next month, because I'll be here every month. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to give public input? Second call, anyone wishing to give public input? Third and final call, anyone wishing to give public input? Thank you for all the public input. That portion is now closed. Consideration and possible action on the following items. 2018 Capital Improvements Project. That requires a public hearing. Jared, do you want to make a statement before we go into the public hearing?
Eric, would you like to go through the bonding beforehand, or wait till after the public hearing, or? Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no. The list is the same list that you saw last month. That is in front of you tonight in your packet, with almost approximately $4 million worth of projects, general fund.
Okay. City Administrator, are you wishing to give some kind of statement? Okay.
Not really at this point. Again, as Jared said, this is
Okay.
information we've seen before and has remained unchanged since last time.
Okay, then let's go into the public hearing. At this time, we will take anyone that wants to speak in favor of the capital improvement budget. Second call, anyone wishing to speak in favor of the capital improvement budget. Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on the capital improvements project. That portion is now closed. Anyone wishing to speak against? There'll be time for us after this, so. Second call, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Third and final call. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? The public hearing is now closed. Alderman Bertrand, now you can make your statement.
Do I need to go?
No, you can go right from here.
Yes. I guess I congratulate the city in terms of, over time, our incredible park system. And I see the River Landing Park as a jewel of our park system. And it's a beautiful park, and it's got great views. And I think the essence of a park is that it allows families, children to come together to play, and to sit and talk and so forth. I want to pass these around. Oh. What?
That's fine. I'll take
Yes.
those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Copies of the same thing.
Yes, he's on the committee.
I can't remember the chronology exactly, but a couple of years when we were trying to finalize the River Landing Park, we cut the benches up at the plaza. Is that accurate to say at that process?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. And I was part of that, by the way. I voted for that. And yesterday, I decided just to go down and sit and kind of look around and so forth. And I'm appalled at my decision, frankly. I'd like you to, well, just to review, we have 2 benches or 2 swings underneath the pavilion. And that's all, there are some picnic tables, only 2 swings to set, say, 2 families. You go down the way, there are another couple of benches. You come down, let's say, on a busy, yeah, okay, on a busy spring, beautiful day, you know, I'm going to ask Sam and John and his family to go down with me. Well, one of the swings is busy, so I have to look down the way there. It's just, the seating is paltry. It's unbelievable. It just never dawned on me how, and so what I'd like to show you also is one of the advantages of the park that we have talked countless times, that we cut down trees and so forth, is the view. But I'd like you to take a look at the top 2 photographs. I took those photos today. The left one is from one of the swings. What you see there is a railing and some wire, part of the railing. So then what I did is walk down. There's to the I guess kind of the center of the attraction down, and that's the view you see from there. But what I did then was to go up to the plaza, as we call it. Right now it's a piece of concrete. It's not a plaza at all. And took a picture back to the southwest and a picture to the northwest. And it's beautiful. Now, I'm not sure who's into views, but the older I get, the more I'm into views. And by the way, I want to show you, take a look at the bottom. That's a picture of Dash Park. What the developer of that has done is to make a little room for benches, for people together to play, to talk, and so forth. So at the appropriate time, I'm going to make a motion to bring back $50,000. I mean, it's to bring benches up to to the plaza, which to me finishes the park. Right now, it's not finished. Thank you.
Okay, so are you making a motion to bring back $50,000?
Well, is it appropriate?
Motion,
Is this the appropriate time to do that?
this is the appropriate time to do.
Okay, yes, I make the motion to bring back, to reinsert in the budget $50,000 for purchase of benches slash swings as we see the, as we look at the prices of each.
Okay, I will second that for discussion. Jared?
Fred, what would be our funding options if we decide to insert this into the budget?
Would be falling under the general fund obligation bonds.
General fund. Okay, so it comes out of the general fund, so we'd have to put it back in. Go ahead, Harvey.
Yep. I understood that we had some money in the tourism fund.
Fred?
That is true. You have special project dollars that is routed each year to the Omni Center,
Yep,
60-some thousand dollars yearly.
yeah.
Would you, Fred, would you make sure you speak into the mic so that we can hear you?
We have approximately $60-some thousand annually going to the Omni Center Special Projects Fund.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron?
I think we can still maybe try and close up some of these old jobs that need to be completed. I think what we should do is take a look at them as old jobs and new jobs. It's an opportunity for us to maybe close up some of these old ones, maybe set some of these new ones aside. One of the items I'm looking at is there is.
Well, now, are you speaking to his motion?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I am. There's some dollars that are matching dollars for the urban forestry. We've got more dollars than they're matching, so I think there's probably some money that we could potentially look at right there for that. Now there's looks like 12,500. And those are matching funds, and the dollars, 100,000.
Okay, Fred, those would be usable dollars for us?
Well, the way I see it, it's 75,000. You got 25,000 from lines 36 and 37, and the other one is a 50-50 match.
Okay,
12,500.
okay. Jared?
Yeah, there's projects 36 and 37 are 25,000 apiece. Then there's the urban forestry management plan, which we are have applied for a DNR grant. So the total general fund urban forestry amount in the proposed capital improvement budget is 62,500 for forestry.
Okay, 12.5 of ours and 50,000 on the grant?
No, the grant is 12.5 apiece. Our match would be 12.5, DNR would be 12.5, and
Oh,
then
okay.
we've got tree planting and then urban forestry general maintenance
Okay,
activities.
now I got the math, okay. Okay, Fred?
With that said, Jared, can you tell us approximately an estimate how many trees that were taken out due to emerald ash borer, and how many have you replaced at this point?
We have completed the emerald ash borer removals throughout the city, but we have received our recent tree inventory from the contracted forester, and in that, there's approximately 100 boulevard trees that need to be removed that we're gonna be working on this winter, and that is what these monies would go to replace.
So approximately how many trees of emerald ash borer did you take down, and how many have been replaced?
We took down approximately 1,350 trees, EAB trees, and we replaced probably 90% of those. The first year, the 3-year funding cycle, we didn't quite have enough funding to replace every tree in kind, but we replaced a vast majority of them.
Okay, anyone else? Harvey?
Yeah, I appreciate our being able to discuss this. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I would urge the council people here to go down there, drive into the parking lot, go to the bench, the swings underneath the pavilion, look at the view, which is obscured, go to the benches to the north, which is obscured, and then I think there's one way north. Then go up to the chunk of concrete. It's not a plaza, it's a chunk of concrete now that says experience on it. And I think that, and then go across the street to see Nash Park. I really think you'll be impressed with how much we need to go ahead and complete that park.
Okay. Fred?
One thing I just wanted to add, just for a point of information, is that if the Board of Public Works Committee would consider reinstating $50,000 for additional benches within the, and I assume we're talking waterfront projects.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
Great River Landing, yeah.
Yeah, Great River Lane Landing area.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
That the other sources to be used, other than borrowing, could be the tourism fund per se. And I hate to say something like this because the tourism has not been weighed in on this.
Yes, Jared?
That would, if we put that as a line item in the proposed capital improvements budget that was passed tonight, that would still take room tax commission approval before those funds would be expended. So it would be up to them. We would give them the opportunity to use those funds, but we would not be making the decision for them.
That is
Am I
correct.
correct? Am I?
Ron?
Just questioning where we're at with the motion.
Well, unless somebody has a comment, we will vote on it. Okay? All in favor of the motion to increase or to put $50,000 back into the capital improvement budget for benches at the Great River Land? Yes?
Point of information is that would be a general fund then, the way the motion was stated?
Oh, it'll be general fund, okay.
That's the way the motion currently is?
Okay. So that will be in the, to put 50,000, to take 50,000 out of the general fund for bench project at the Great River Landing, correct?
You're adding $50,000 to the 2018 capital projects.
Right,
motion.
right. Adding $50,000 to the general fund budget for use of, for benches at the Great River Landing. Fred?
I'll make amendment to that motion that we would put 50,000 back into the capital project as a line item, but the other sources would be coming from the tourism fund.
Thank you.
I'll second that amendment.
Okay, the amendment made that we put it back into the capital improvement budget and use as much of the tourism fund as we can. All in favor of the motion? Oh, discussion on the motion.
On the amendment.
Pardon me?
On the amendment.
Or on the amendment, excuse me. No discussion. All in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Abstentions? The motion is amended.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Now, we need to vote on the motion as amended so that it's $50,000 will now come out of the capital, will be put back into the capital improvements budget with tourism paying as much of that as we can support. Fred?
Just to clarify that, it's the tourism dollars to fund, not, it's the tourism dollars to fund 100%.
100% of it? Okay, so so we're going to put $50,000 back in the capital improvements budget, and 100% of those funds will come out of tourism. Ron?
100% of that's going to be paid by tourism tax.
Yes. Any other questions, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Abstentions? So moved. Anything else? Ron?
I'd like to make a motion that we move ahead on some of these old projects. The one that I've been hearing quite a bit about is the cemetery. We need to find some funds for that. There again, I think we should kind of take this as an approach where we should be trying to close some of these old jobs up, maybe sacrifice some of this new stuff for the time being to get those done. And maybe it's an opportunity to save the taxpayers some money in doing it. I'm going to again go back to this urban tree. We're at matching funds on that. I think that's what we should do. I'd make a motion that we take the residual money and put that toward whatever that amount was. Now, I'm a little bit confused. We're at 90,000 and we're talking,
It was 52.5.
okay, and that's changed. That's changed. Now, I've seen nothing,
A bid.
right? I've seen nothing. That's, so I'm a little,
So we can make it, so that, as a point of order, that would be part of the motion is to do it.
want to be clear on, I have not seen that figure.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And I usually don't like to do that way, but let's move stuff forward. I'm also looking at a couple other items, but let's move on that. Make a motion that we take those monies out of there and move them over to try to cover the cost and finish that project that they're working on over there.
I'll second that motion. And now I would like to offer an amendment.
Can we
Jared?
get clarification first, what exactly the motion was, which projects?
The motion is to, that phase two that they're working on, it's something that we've talked about, Jared, to try and get, it's the one that Lois is working on. He's been in contact with me and several other aldermen and you, working to try and get that completed for him.
Which projects are you using, though? Which projects are you proposing to delete and put?
It
I
is
assume you're under 36 and 37, the $50,000 for the urban forestry?
ones we were talking about before. It's
36
30.
and 37.
Yep, 36 and 37.
Okay. Jared?
No, that was my question.
You got what you needed? Yep. Okay. Okay, I'm going to offer an amendment that we hold the financing on this to $60,000. And so we can get a hard bid, considering that we get a hard bid from somebody. So I will amend that motion to say not to exceed $60,000.
I'll second it.
The second, there's an amendment and a second that the funding should not exceed $60,000. Discussion on the amendment. John?
Do we have any idea what that other bid would be?
Jared?
Okay, so there's a little confusion about the bidding process here, that if there's city funds involved, we gotta follow strict rules for bidding out projects. We have city policies. The private interests have solicited bids, but those do not know if they include bonding, insurance, a variety of stipulations that city bids would have, and what those are. So, and typically, we try to include a contingency in whatever we're working on, so that way we don't have to come back, hopefully, to ask for more funding. So that's the reason you saw the $90,000 number. I think if there is a project included for a cemetery fence, we would work and try and get done whatever we can with whatever funding is allocated for that project.
Okay. So the motions that we have had all must be pulled off because they were asking us to do something that would be illegal.
No,
Well, we have to add we have to add it back at a 90,000 level, right?
no, you can fund it at whatever level you so choose. We have not received any, this just gives us the authority to move ahead with the financing. We will still, any of these projects still need to come back through common council to get approval.
Okay.
Once we receive proper bids, proper prices, all of these things you'll see come back through for future approvals.
Okay, on the amendment? Vote on the amendment? All in favor of, yes, excuse me?
Just clarify then, taking combined the original amendment plus amended, the original motion plus the amendment, excuse me, is combining two things. One, removing line items 36 and 37, and two, adding or re-adding line 65 up to $60,000.
Okay, yes, yes, that's exactly it.
Right.
Okay, right now, we're voting on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
Aye.
One nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. Now, the original motion is to put back into the capital improvement budget $60,000, or not to exceed $60,000, or by adding number 65 back in and taking numbers 36 and 37 out. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
So, Fred, which way were you voting?
He's a no.
Opposed.
You're a no,
I'm opposed.
you're a no, and there's 3 ayes. So the ayes have it. Anything else in the capital improvements budget? Any additions? Ron?
I am looking at, we've got three, budgeted for 3 squad cars. I am looking at,
What number is that?
it is, I don't have it on there, it's blurred out for me, so redacted copy.
Yep, 48.
40 and 48.
It's gonna be line 48.
Okay.
Got 3 squad cars budgeted. My question would be, do we need 3 squad cars in our rotation? What we're going, chief in here?
Chief, would you please come to the podium? Thank you.
So the answer would be, it comes down to priority then. We have 2 marked squads that are in the budget, which are a higher priority than the unmarked squad. The unmarked squad is in there basically because of the years of service that's in it. When we look at the vehicle replacement plan, the vehicle replacement plan has the vehicles that are unmarked around the 10 to 12 year mark, getting out of service. Basically looking at the mileage and the years, because the older the fleet is, obviously it gets more expensive to maintain. The only issue I have with the cars is we try to keep them low mileage, low years of service, mainly because of the cost that it costs to maintain them. Over the years that I've been here, we get no additional funding into our vehicle maintenance account. So the older our vehicles get, the more expensive they cost. So you talk about need versus want. Not really into shooting my foot here, but I mean, the marked squads are a more priority. Could we do without? We could always do without. So I'm not going to sit up here and pretend, we can't. So I would, if you make any changes, I would ask you that you don't take the marked squads out and you sacrifice the unmarked. But I'm for all 3, so.
Thanks, chief.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Yes. You want to, never mind. No, just, that's, You have a question for him?
Yes.
Okay, then you might want to hang around here.
Kind of a subjective feel, that's what all these are. Is this going to affect your ability to provide us enough vehicles or to do the job of the police department sufficiently? Is that going to cripple your ability to do that?
We will not be crippled.
Or not cripple, but to,
We'll be able to provide all the services that we will need to provide. That vehicle, okay, so let's pretend like I'm going to maintain the two marked, and I'm going to sacrifice, or I'm going to lose the unmarked. The only thing that harms me is the expense to maintain that vehicle for an additional year as it gets older in the fleet. Will that harm me hugely? No, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it will. I just try to maintain our fleet the best that we can. So,
thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Does anybody else have any questions for the chief? Okay, thank you.
I make a motion that we remove the expense of $50,000 from line 48 on the unmarked squad car, on the advice of the chief. I'm sure it was read to me as 48.
Okay, 48.
Pretty sure that's what it is.
One, out of the 148.50, or 500, I should say.
It's
You want to take 50,000 of it?
50,000.
Okay.
Yep, yeah.
All right. Yeah,
sorry to interrupt,
yeah.
but
thank you.
if you take 50,000 out, I have to do the math, but that would,
You'd be into your.
yeah, so I'm sorry I don't have the value of the unmarked next to me, but
Trying to find it, I can't.
Yep.
Okay. You want to restate that then?
unfortunately, they put them into the line item combined.
Yeah, I didn't break them all.
And the only thing that would do, Ron, is short changes for the marked.
Unmarked out. Do it by the squad instead of the dollar amount, correct?
Well, we have to have a dollar amount to go
I didn't see-
forward.
That's what's screwing us up. Because
I think Fred went to go get it.
we'll just wait till he gets.
No, it's in the, I want to say it's in the high
do this
30s,
so it
but I'm not 100%
30s?
positive.
It's in the 30s, isn't it?
I think it's in the upper 30s, but I don't want to commit myself without that in front of me.
I understand what's going on.
36, I think. I have seen these numbers, so.
$46,000 available.
The,
And then, what I did is in 20, just for, and see, I may be close, is what I did is I took the 2017, we had 2 squads that we purchased for $96,800, adding a 5% additional increase in value on the $101,600 and some dollars.
did we not break it apart in the budget, how those, the two marked and the unmarked? That sounds high to me,
No,
but,
it's replaced 2 squad cars, 96.8.
okay,
And I added 5% for
Okay.
additional costs, puts you about 46,000 available. And what I did is, in adding 5%, put it at 101,600, subtract that off the 148,500.
okay.
So that's about 46.
So you're saying we had 46,000 marked,
No, I'm
earmarked
saying it
for
would be
the,
46,000 if you would take the administrative car out.
Take out 46.
all right. I'm going to just have to trust the math. So,
And I hope within 5% is, I have no idea how much car prices have gone up.
Motion.
right, but there was, okay. I'm, without seeing the numbers, what you're talking about, I know that we added, there's two more specific prices for each of the cars based off of equipment that we're buying this year for the vehicles. I'm gonna just have to trust your math based off of what you're saying. That sounds high,
I'm
but
basing it on the 2 vehicles we purchased in 2017.
okay.
We'll just take it out of Fred's pay if that's not right.
Well, I know that when we did the budget, we would have
teasing, I'm
earmarked
teasing.
a price for each of the 3 vehicles. That's what I'm saying. 46 sounds high for the admin, but again, I'm gonna just have to trust the math,
Okay?
I guess.
There it is. There, we found it. We got it. Okay, we had 51,314 for each marked squad and 45,497
Okay.
for the unmarked
For this year.
for this year.
Okay.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
45.
So 45,497 was the unmarked. So if you want to remove that, that would be the,
What was the price, 45?
find it.
What was the price, Jared, 45,000?
Yeah, I've got it, 45,497. I got it. Yep, and that's right.
What's that?
That's right.
I believe that.
Yep, we're all agreeing, that's right. I'm gonna make a motion to take $45,497 out of line 48. That would be the unmarked squad car.
There a second? I'll second that. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay?
Aye.
Nay.
So it's 3 to 2 in favor of the motion. So we strike the 45,497 out of number 48. Other, Ron?
I have to locate this in this pile. I had some questions for Fred on the storm sewer. There was I guess it's more of our storm sewer is running as a enterprise.
That is correct.
So if we're doing projects for the storm sewer, are we taking those dollar bills out of the enterprise to build them?
They are responsible, when we borrow the money, the principal and interest payment through bonding is paid through the stormwater utility.
So yes.
I got it at that. I'm trying to find what I'm looking for.
Jared, did you have?
I was just going to add that, for instance, this year's stormwater utility, when the ERU rate was brought forward as part of the budget, there is an item for debt service as part of that. Oh, no, that's fine. There's an item for debt service in that increased ERU rate that, so whatever borrowing we have in this year's budget, the stormwater utility will have to adjust their rate to cover that borrowing in the oncoming years to pay that debt service.
Is that the 5% increase involved in that?
The ERU rate that we had to approved for the 2018 included such things as debt service, which was the majority of it. The utility took on some of the city administrators' salaries and fringe benefits, and then there was increase in public education effort, and those 3 things took up most of the difference in the 2018 ERU rate.
My question for you, Jared, is we have I'm not finding it in my paperwork here, but I know there's a pond extension that we're working on. Tell me what the need for that pond extension is, how that fits into the 10-year, 5-year, 15-year plan here.
Correct. That item, which is number.
I know I got it here.
Number 8. I assume is the one you're talking about. Number 8 is for the, what we refer to as the Menards Pond. So we are looking at purchasing increased lands at the Menards Pond, which is at the intersection of US Highway 53 and Sand Lake Road, to expand that pond for future development along the east side of the road. So those, if we expand that pond at that time, those costs of that pond would be recouped through the stormwater fees that would be paid through those developments on the east side of the road.
So what we're doing is we're projecting that the payment for that's gonna be in future property taxes down there on development.
Future stormwater fees through the utility.
Well, the fee and a tax are, you know, from where I'm sitting at, are the same thing. And I'm concerned that we're feeing people to death here as part of it. I understand we gotta fund things and we gotta plan. Thank you.
You have, oh, okay. Anyone else have a comment? Okay, were you gonna make a motion off of that? Okay. Okay, any other, Jared, go ahead.
I'd make a motion that we approve the 2018 capital improvements budget as presented and with the changes made tonight and move forward to the Common Council for approval.
Second.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded to move the capital improvement budget forward as amended this evening to the Common Council. Yes,
Your Honor, just a point of information, the way I see the figures as we discussed tonight, that would be in a decrease of $35,497, which is equated to $45,497 removed from the vehicles, but an additional $10,000 needed based on the deduction of 36 and 37, which is 50, and you put 60,000 in. So it's an increase of 10, minus the vehicles of 45, puts a decrease of 35,497 from what was published.
okay. So noted. Discussion? Hearing none, I want a roll call vote on this.
Roll call vote, Mayor Chilson,
Yes,
Alderman Jurtson,
Yes.
Alderman Bertrand,
Yes.
Fred Bueller,
Yes.
Jared Holter, yes.
budget is moved on. Thank you, everybody. Resolution 31-2017, preliminary resolution regarding assessments for curb and gutter construction and setting date and time of public hearing regarding special assessments. Jared?
Okay, we're gonna see if our technical. Go back to there it goes. Okay, we got it. Oh, we had it. Yeah.
There it is.
Okay, Resolution 31-2017, you see in your packet tonight, this is for the preliminary resolution regarding assessments for the Holiday Heights project. This resolution does bring forward assessment of the curb and gutter in that neighborhood. Currently, the only area that has curb and gutter in that neighborhood, if you look at your articles tonight in your packet, there's a little bit of existing curb and gutter down here where these blue parcels are at. So we did not include assessments for anyone that had curb and gutter. This house, all their frontage has curb and gutter, and the two houses on each side got a slight adjustment because they have some existing curb and gutter. But this would be for all of the area within the Holiday Heights neighborhood. One thing I would point out also is the city does have the park along the south side, so there's no assessments there. And the fact that we're abutting the Wisconsin DOT right away, and we cannot assess that back to them. So those would be part of the project cost that would be borne by the city. This resolution would bring forward a public hearing for the residents to come in at next month's meeting. One thing I would point out is that we did have a informational meeting on August 29th, 2017. There are 70 parcels in this neighborhood. We did have 34 of them attend the hearing, not the hearing, but the public information meeting. 15 comment sheets were received that they were favorable to the curb and gutter, and 3 were opposed. If this goes forward tonight, I do have currently the assessment sheets within your packet. I would like to discuss 2 points of interest if we're going to move forward with this resolution on the way of assessing the curb and gutter for this project. With that, I guess if we had a motion to move forward, if it so choose, I can discuss it.
Is there a motion to move forward? Fred?
Make a motion, we move forward with this project, but keep in mind that, that if you go out, I mean, it's the same caveat that we have year after year after year, is the fact that if for some reason this project is pulled or delayed or put to referendum, that is considered through the process.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded to move this, this resolution 31-2017 forward. Yes, Jared?
Sorry, I feel like I got to...
Oh, that's fine. Now I can see it.
Okay. As part of this, the way the current resolution is written, it states lineal foot of frontage plus any adjustments made by the Board of Public Works as they deem fit. Moving forward here, we got some blow-ups here. I'm just going to go, back. If you go into this, area right in here, you can see there's West Young Drive, and then we have Madera Lane. We've actually got an area right along here off the aerial photo here that's a stormwater ponding area and stormwater swale for treatment purposes. Staff would propose that really these backside of these 3 lots is unbuildable, unusable frontage due to what we're doing with the front. So staff is recommending that these 3 frontages here at 1546, 1548, and 1550 West Young Drive, those westerly frontages are not included in the assessment calculations. That is one change that we would like to, staff is recommending. The second change you have is there's a variety of corner lots on the assessment sheet. So all the sheets that are in this gold color are corner lots. So as you can see, for instance, should get the mouse out. This lot here has 2 frontages. What staff is proposing is that the address frontage, so if, for instance, at this parcel here at 1525 Hoffman Place, is assessed the full frontage along their address side and half of the frontage along their secondary sides, their side street side, they would have half frontage. So you can see the orange parcels, this parcel here, down in the corner of East and West Young Drive has almost 300 foot of frontage if you take all the frontage. So that is what the staff is bringing forward as 2 possible alterations to the assessment sheets that you see tonight. Feel those are fair and justifiable as far as the assessments go.
Okay, any other comments? We'll vote this and then talk about the assessments after that?
I'll make a motion to amend the assessments as shown tonight to have those 2 inclusions put in.
Okay, so the motion, or the amendment by Jared, seconded by Ron, that the 8 parcels be assessed, or the 8 corner parcels be assessed at full amount on the address side and half on all other sides.
On the secondary side, yes.
On the secondary side, okay?
And also there's 3 parcels that will not get assessed on their westerly frontage, which are 15, 40,
That's on
46, 48, and 50.
Okay, let me word this. Okay, the motion is amended to state that the 8 parcels highlighted on the sheet here will be, the corner lots will be assessed on the address side at full amount and on the secondary sides at half. And in addition, parcels number 1546, 1548, and 1550 will not be assessed on the back sides.
West side.
West side, okay. All in favor of that amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, hold it, Ron wants to say
Just, I
something,
want
I'm
to
sorry.
get clear on what these properties are.
Here.
If we go on the, if we want to look at the screen,
These are the three that in the back. Right, but these are two. So these are the ones the backside won't be. Yes, correct.
Unusable. I understand.
okay.
Okay, so all in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, nay? Abstentions? The motion is amended. Now to approve the motion, I gotta get back to my sheet here. Resolution 31 dash 2017 regarding the assessments for the curb and gutter. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Abstentions? So moved. Thank you. Item 6, review and consideration of South Kinney Cooley Lift Station project, including update on projection costs, or project costs, excuse me.
Thank you, Your Honor. In your packet tonight, I've included a updated project budget for the project. We are currently working on the South Kinney Lift Station project. Anticipating in the next couple weeks, it's going to go online, the generator is going to be delivered, and we're going to finish construction. Currently, that project, there's a 4,000-foot force main that runs from the lift station itself to a manhole out in front of Gunderson Lutheran Clinic on South Kinney Cooley Road. As part of the project, due to the tight constraints, we had to bypass pump as part of that project. So the contract included bypass pumping that the contractor had to set up and run while this project occurred. During the first day that they turned on the bypass pumping to start decommissioning the existing station, within minutes, the problems occurred. We actually had, it took us a number of hours to get to this point, but we actually ascertained that the force main got plugged. So currently there's 4,000 feet of 8-inch force main. We had to call in a pumping truck. Over the course of the next 48 hours, we pumped the lift station, continually ran it down the street, and deposited it into the downstream sanitary manhole. With that, because we didn't understand exactly what was going on, and the force main has few access points, the city crew dug in one T in one location, and the general contractor, Pember, dug in another T in the middle of the night to gain access to the force main. Once we got dug down the next day, this is what we found. There's a picture. The force main at this low spot had about 4 inches of sludge in it. You can see that those are almost like a pancaked material that was on the sides of the pipe. The force main had never been cleaned in the 28 years it's been in at that site. We never had it on a list, never had it where we normally would have to clean a force main. We are not, have not ascertained exactly what it is, but we think it's with the leachate from the landfill coming in over the years, especially before we had a lot of flow into that lift station from the homes that are currently on the end of South Kinney. But with the new pumps that the contractors set up to run the bypass, they were pumping at a higher rate and higher velocity than our current pump. Dislodged everything, bang, we had a clog. In the fact that we knew that we did not want to be bypass pumping with the truck for the next days on end, We ascertained, found a hose from a farming contractor that knifes in manure, and got that hose out there for 10 days, and it had a rental fee on the hose, and we also had bypass pumping. Over the course of the next, it ran good for approximately a week. We changed some things around in the lift station. We had an airlock that lasted a few hours, got that fixed, and then probably another Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we had another plug. Opened up the tees that we had, opened up the air release manholes, got it cleaned out again. I think we've got to the point where it is relatively clean. We've tried to televise sections that we can. The problem where you see the sludge buildup is it's actually underwater. So when you run the camera in there, you're underwater, so you can't get a good picture of what the condition of the pipe is. The sections that we can televise that are out of the water, once we've cleaned them, the pipe looks brand new, looks very good on the inside. I think once we get the new lift station up and running with the new pumps, I think the velocities and things will be such that we will not have a clogging problem after this point. But we are looking at moving forward in 2018 to have what they call PIG possibly inserted in the pipe, scour the pipe out, clean it, put it on a maintenance schedule. But part of the reason I bring this forward to you tonight is there's also in the estimate sheet at the end of the night, there are bills that are on there. But if you look at your project cost sheet that's included in your packet tonight, this is updated as of 11/29. And this is the same sheet I handed out before the project was awarded for bid. We've got the project costs. We've got the base bid from Pembroke for $345,000. Strand for construction engineering shop drawing review was $30,000. We do have a change order that'll be acted upon next month for Pembroke for additional work for $8,000 in relation to this. They spent their whole crew for a day digging in the T at this location, so we actually had to dig a hole, dig the T in, plus another day's worth of work just running with the forest main and getting things acclimated and figured out. They were assisting our city crew. We had a bypass hose rental of $6,800, and we had $16,300 in pump truck services during the last 3 weeks. In that, we'll outline the funding sources. These were included within our original budget were the 2016 capital projects, the La Crosse County Solid Waste contribution, 2016 capital projects, and 2009 capital projects. Those were all outlined in the original project budget. We have also included a new line item for the sanitary sewer operating budget. We feel the hose rental and the pump truck services are an expensible item, really should not go to the capital projects. Those will be paid out of the operating budget. So as you can see, we've got enough funding using the sanitary sewer operating budget, and we can sustain those in the sanitary sewer operating budget to cover these costs. But I wanted to bring it forward. We expended a lot of man hours, a lot of overtime, a lot of stress on individuals, including our city administrator trying to figure out what we need to do. So I give credit to our crew. Our crew spent 2 overnights rotating people in and out. We had a couple people that stayed the first night, worked about 18 hours in a row before we sent them home. John Wyatt, our utility crew leader, was instrumental in this work out at this site. Kevin was at the site overnight on the site. Jim Prindle worked out there just trying to get everything out. We had probably almost, over the course of that 48 hours, almost every public works employee took a shift. We dug a culvert under the road to get the bypass pump so people didn't have to drive over it. It was a lot of adversity there for a while. So, but I just wanted to update the board on the costs. As I said, there'll be a change order coming through next month under Pembroke's contract, but I'm reasonably sure that we've got things under control, but it was just a unique experience out there, so I just wanted to bring the board up to speed.
Ed Harvey.
Yeah, do we have possibly other force mains that are in a position where they just might go the same route?
I think part of this forest main that's unique is the fact that the city of La Crosse installed this lift station in 1993, and they ran a forest main from the current lift station all the way back to where Dick's is by Valley View Mall. So there was 7,000 feet of forest main. They sized the forest main for the friction loss in 7,000 feet. We've cut off 3,000 of that, so we only use 4,000 feet of the force main. Plus, they sized it big enough that they were hoping they were going to annex the whole area out on 16 by Nathan Hill. So they sized the force main for a future anticipated flow that was really, really high. We are nowhere near that. So I think this is a unique force main in comparison to some of our other force mains that maintain proper velocities and clean the main. And the fact that I think the materials coming out of the landfill probably did not help as far as adding to the debris in the pipe. But so we will be monitoring that. Some of the other, we will probably end up televising some of the other force mains. A lot of our other force mains, such as the 6th and Quincy force main, is only probably 1,000 feet long, and the one at 11th and Well is maybe 1,200, 1,300 feet. So they're relatively a lot shorter, so we don't have such as many problems with the up and down. But we are reassessing.
City Administrator?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to echo what Jared said regarding the Public Works Department. When it comes to this particular issue, the timing just continued to be worse. It always happened at the end of the day, always happened going into holiday weeks. So the work I had seen with the Public Works Department and getting this problem solved was exciting to see that people, the workers here do care about the city and all aspects of that. Also commend Jared for keeping me informed, phone calls and meetings, taking my non-engineering advice and not laughing at it. So I do appreciate that we're able to work well together and help trying to solve this problem. The second thing is of note that Jared did not touch on is remarkably with this kind of situation, no basements were affected. There was no damage to any residential property throughout this mess, nor did were they shut off. They were always able to flush during this entire process. And there was no spillages that we would have to report to the DNR as well. That's something else that I think is remarkable in this whole project.
Jared, you have on here that there's consideration to the change?
No, we do not need any action this month on this
Okay.
item.
Okay, then we'll move on. Review and consideration of change order number 1 for 2017 miscellaneous concrete project. Jared?
Included in your packet tonight is a proposed change order 1 for 2017 miscellaneous concrete project. This does involve additional quantities for all, it's all items that were bid, so we paid all these items at the bid price. We're basically making the contract whole. I'll go through items A through D. Item A is installation of additional square footage of miscellaneous concrete repairs. This was, we bid out an amount that we think we're going to repair during the year. When Kevin goes through and does the inspections, and depending on the calls he gets, that number does move. So we did repair more concrete than what we had originally thought we would. That was the $10,721.70. We also did install more long runs, which included grading, base course, and concrete sidewalk. That was the sidewalk that was ordered in at Emerald Drive that came through the Board of Public Works late in the year. And also we installed some sidewalk at the park at Nathan Hill Estates. The last two are also to do with the install at the park and the sidewalk at Emerald Valley Drive. We had additional seed fertilizer mulch and then also black dirt to do the grading. Some of this was at the park because we did do some grading in the boulevard to make things so they drained properly and got the park seeded properly. So I guess with that, I'd recommend approval of the change order.
Okay. Do we have a motion in there, or just this?
I'll make it in the form of a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Motion made by Jared, seconded by Harvey. To approve change order number 1 for 2017 miscellaneous concrete project. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? So moved. Update on the leaf vacuum and yard waste services. Jared?
I went through this at the last Common Council meeting. Want to give the board an update, and I'll be moving this on to the Common Council agenda. Just reiterating some of the things that we've stated at the council meeting. We started leaf vacuum service October 2nd this year. 4 passes were required. We did perform 7 passes total. Historically, our complaints are for long runs between passes. This year, we did exceptionally well. We had a schedule, and the contractor, Harder's Quick Cleanup, stuck to it. They were able to get around to everybody almost every week as they did. Typically, we have a 3-week pass that extends things out. We did not have our 3-week pass this year. Part of it was due to the unusual weather. We had the unusual warm weather. Today, actually tonight, is probably what I would consider our first day of winter weather that we've had since the historical fall started. In your packet tonight, we've listed the dates that we started and ended all of our stops within the passes. We have also worked on the start date of the last pass, and it is historically within a few days of what we have done previously. I did go through, once the weather looked like it was going to extend for another week, I did extend the yard waste, which is bagged leaf pickup or containers, another week into this week. So we are still picking up through Harder's Quick Cleanup yard waste this week of December 4th of 17. We have received input from the public on that our individuals that feel that our service could have been better. Probably what we'll do is evaluate our year, and we'll bring it back probably August of this coming year. Before the following, we start leaf vacuuming or leaf services in the fall of 2018, and get some input from the board based upon what we saw this year, and see which direction we want to head. So Harder's did an exceptional job this year. Vicki Bosworth, our administrative assistant upstairs, done an exceptional job updating the city's website, updating the leaf vacuum hotline, the recycling hotline, and keeping track of where Harder's leaf vacuuming services were at various points. She does a great job of being our first point of contact with these items, and just want to say thank you to her.
Did it increase the budget, or did budget impact on what you're saying?
We did get council approval at the last council meeting to make the extra pass at a cost of $6,000. We do have in the contract that we pay Harder's by the week. So every week we extend the leaf yard waste pickup. We do pay for that, and that will be paid at the contracted amount that we pay per week. So I think Fred could concur, but the solid waste budget with the revenues received from the yard waste stickers and things, we should be fine in that account with what we've expended.
Okay. Pay estimates. Grand Associates, Advanced Pumping, HydroClean, Gerke Excavating, Pembroke Companies, Matthew Construction, Fowler and Hammer, Wisconsin Department of Transportation, and any other contractor/developer. We have 14 of them tonight, correct, Jared?
Yes, I have added 3 since the Board of Public Works estimates in your packet. I have added Farner Asphalt Sealers number 12 for saw seal, which has been done, and we did receive the invoice between the time of the packet going out and tonight. Also, Universal Truck and Equipment for truck body replacement on our 2003 tool truck, and Strupp Excavating to finish the waterfront tree clearing. So the staff is recommending approval of all 14 estimates unless you have questions.
Is that in the form of a motion?
I would make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Jared, seconded by Harvey to approve the 14 pay estimates for December 5th, 2017. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Motion made by Fred, seconded by Ron to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So moved. We stand adjourned at 7:49. Thank you.